The next issue we came across out on the course was ground clearance. And a lot of these factory vehicles, you just don't simply have enough to run with the big guys, right? So the way you address that, you go up in the air. And that's what we're doing with this Jeep. We're going up 3.5 inches with this brand new Rockcrawler suspension kit. Now, this lift kit is probably as high end as you're going to find. And a few examples. Take a look at this lower control arm. If you look down inside the tube, you can see that these guys utilize a solid steel lower control arm. Now, a lot of companies on the market will utilize an 1/8 inch thick wall lower control arm, and some will go a little bit farther and go with a 1/4 inch thick. This is solid steel. It utilizes a 1-inch shank, and even at the point where the shank goes into the solid steel tube, you're still looking at a 1/2 inch thick wall. That is pretty serious. Now, the other thing you'll notice about these lower control arms, when you put them up in place next to the factory ones, they've got this bend in it to give you even more ground clearance, which is going to come in handy. You'll also see that you've got a set of progressive springs. All in all, this is like a full-blown competition kit, and this is going to be a big addition to this Jeep.
These massive upper and lower control arms are ready to go in, but before we install them, let's take a look at a couple of the things that make this Rockcrawler suspension system so unique. You've got these crawler joints right here. Now, these are cool. They're adjustable, and these are tough. I've got one pulled apart over here, and we can take a look at it. When they machine these things out, they're cut a big, deep groove on the inside, and they hit that with a marine-grade quality grease in there, and that's going to hold up and be good and strong, but it doesn't end there as you're piecing this together. Now, these races are made with what they call PT Meg material, and that is actually impregnated with graphite and Teflon. So that's going to aid in the lubricity as well, and that goes in there so it's good and strong, and then this piece goes on and you are ready to roll. That's going to keep it good, lubricated, quiet, and strong, and maintenance free for 3 to 5 years. When you're ready to rebuild this, it simply comes apart just like that, and you pull that out and you rebuild it, and it's done. Here's another thing on this front control arm. Look at the size of this bushing housing. It's massive. This is like monster truck stuff. You're most likely never going to break this. Same PT Meg material on the inside of that too, so it's going to last and hold up. How does all this stuff help the guys that are out there on the trail? Good question. With the better, stronger pieces, this thing's going to be able to crawl around and move and go places it couldn't go before. And you've got less chance for breakage, and that's going to keep you out there playing for longer. So those are your big advantages. Now, right now, we need to go to break, but B-Man, oh, there you are. Excellent timing, dude. Like a knight in shining armor once again. You got that spring? Yeah. I'll pull down. So that's how we'll keep these guys out there playing. And this is good. Problem solving today on TruckU, right?
There we go.
All right. Welcome back to TruckU. Now we've got the upper and lower control arms from our Rockcrawler suspension kit installed, and that gives us time to come over here and take a look at some of the other goodies that are part of this deal as well. Now, these are nice. It's the sway bar end links, front and rear, and the fronts are disconnectable if we need that. That's a nice touch.
Yeah, we've also got stainless steel brake lines now. These are definitely an upgrade over the factory ones because, first of all, they're going to be a lot more durable than the rubber lines, plus they're made to compensate for that bigger lift we've got on, so these are cool. Now, something you can't help but notice are these really cool looking shocks. They're all aluminum from Rockcrawler, which is great for lightweight applications. But, you know, look at the fluted design on these things. That'll help dissipate heat. And the little fitting right here allows you to easily add a reservoir. Now, these things are fully customizable to your applications, and they're rebuildable, which makes it really nice.
You know what's nice is you can call those guys and say, I've got this particular vehicle and I drive like a maniac, and they'll custom valve it for you. That's kind of a nice deal right there. Another cool thing are the track bars, the adjustable front and rear track bars that we got. So we've got the front one in place. We'll bolt it on when we get the vehicle on the ground. But they are adjustable, like I said, and you think about this, if you're going to change the vehicle and lift it up and you're not changing out the steering geometry, well, as you lift it up, that actually the stock track bar is going to kind of swing that axle out to the left a little bit, and you need to bring it back in to keep everything centered. That's the nice part about these being adjustable. So in the future, in the front and rear, if we decide to go even higher with this thing and it pulls that axle out, we just make the necessary adjustments and everything is centered. Now, there's a cat with a sway bar issue, right?
Yeah, he was like Mikey last year.
A little bit resembling that. I think the issue was lack of sway bar. So what the sway bar does is it controls body roll. Now, the good thing is it'll keep you safe so your body doesn't roll over side to side. The bad part is if you want the ultimate in flexibility, and when you're out there on the trail and you need that articulation, you're not going to get it with everything tied together. So what we've got here is a little something that's the best of both worlds. It's the Curry Anti-Rock Off-Road Sway Bar.
Yeah, and like you said, it is the best of both worlds. I mean, because what it does, it gives you that stability going down the highway, and when you're out on the trails and stuff, it allows you to articulate, but it won't let you over-articulate and get you in a bunch of trouble. The way it does that is the shaft actually will twist enough to allow you to do both.
Sure.
You know, and you know the other thing too, it's a convenience thing. Let's say you're out in the mud and you're unhooked and all that stuff, you get all full of mud, then you got to go digging through to try and hook back up. this is a whole lot easier.
Yeah, this is going to save you a lot of time reconnecting.
Right, and you know, the way you set this thing is when it's down on the ground, and what you want to do is you want to go to level when you're at half travel in your suspension. This way, when you've got all the weight on the suspension, this will go up at about a 5-degree angle. The reason why you want that is so when you're at full droop, you don't go over center and get yourself in a lot of trouble that way when it binds up.
Yeah, this is going to be a very nice thing. And when people see this on there, they know you're serious too.
Yeah.
So while you're doing all these upgrades, right, you know what you're going to do. You're thinking to yourself, well, I'm a guy that's going to play in the mud pretty much all the time. I may never climb on rocks. Or vice versa, you might spend all your time on rocks. Keep in mind, there's a specific tire for any activity that you're going to do. So you might want to go with a more aggressive tire as well. That's definitely going to help you out.
And beadlocks are never a bad option.
Beadlocks are always a good idea.